that's a great question. That's why we gotta sample a lot of different ones. But who knows if they're all Stercolyptus and just a different species or a different morph. Abby knows.
Abby wants to know.
It looks like that heteroconia on the left is growing out of the white sponge.
Bit of competition for space there.
And then you have a rock on the right with nothing growing on it. There's an anthophyllum right there. A couple of them.
Rocks or mud, rocks or mud.
Seems to be getting a little spongier.
Some more of your peristanella.
Backscatter looks pretty intense around here for a bit.
Those yellow ones just stick out.
Well,
A little paragorgids mixed in. A little something to everything.
Wow, that is quite the overview.
Yeah.
Go back to screensaver again.
Looks like a roundabout in the middle. All right, here we go.
Is it almost time to raise our hands? Go over the top.
Definitely.
The giant boulder in front of us.
Yeah. Right in our way.
What are we gonna do?
Ben, how much longer do we have in this transect?
Yeah, we have like 60 meters left.
Roger that.
This is the coral rock.
Wow.
That's
Oh my
cool.
God. Do you want me to mark this?
Sure.
Coral overlook.
Is that something that Lizzie would want a mosaic of? Can we do one of a boulder like that?
Sure. We can definitely do one of a boulder like that. Would they want one?
It's our second objective for the night.
Roger that.
I would think that that would be a good one.
Yeah, we'll just have to step back just a little.
I mean, really
How far
almost
are
doing
we?
any kind.
What's that, Tom?
I was just gonna say, almost any place here we could do a 3D mosaic in these sponge gardens with corals in them. I could still Paris-Stenella all across the top here.
Pick a boulder, any boulder.
And we need a name for the fan coral too, so. Food or appliance. It's a dishwasher.
So do we know when Abby's coming on?
No.
And Meredith would like a Niskin at the end of this transect, please.
Roger that.
Let's just say Abby's more of a night owl.
I just
No,
have so
no.
many
Seems like it's
questions.
We should be on for our port at 8 afternoon.
Yes.
Change my heading a little.
Yeah, the last little bit's going to be the start of this down slope.
Roger that.
Looks pretty gradual.
So if Abby doesn't have any scheduled watches today, so that means she'll probably be on all day, especially if it stays like this.
She's going to be exhausted with excitement.
That's a cool stocked one there at the just going out of the screen. Tom, did you see that one?
Nope, I didn't see it. Too many other things to look at right now.
Truth.
Eyes are bouncing all over looking. Seems like we have more Michaeli up here. The yellow sponge.
After this transect, do they want a Niskin right away, or should we go back over the ridge where there's a denser amount of sponges for the Niskin?
Let's see what Meredith has to say about that. Right away, please.
Okay.
Roger that.
I'm just going to hold position in like 25 meters.
Roger. And what's the bearing to that coral rock?
It's going to be 200, just right back.
Roger.
Yeah, I think you'll have enough. All right, just 5 more meters.
Almost there.
All right. I think right now is good.
Roger.
Just matching the resolution of our navigation.
And is there a specific height that this Niskin wants to be fired at? Or rather, you guys want us to fire this Niskin at? A certain
Wait to hear what
altitude?
Meredith says.
Sure thing.
Meredith, what height would you like the Niskin? Is there any specific altitude? She said this altitude is fine.
Roger that. Marley, you full wide there on the HD. Thank you. I'll follow you in on the bubble here. Yeah, let's go for 1. Nice. Nice. I got eyes on Niskins.
Those far back ones are so hard to see.
Is the arm being jumpy for you there, Kim? Roger. I'll be on the kill switch on the hydraulics. Nice. Maybe try rotating it a bit. Nice. That's good.
Pop.
Butt fired. Nice.
All right, nice job.
I think there's a fish in the jaw. Yeah, if you open the jaw, it looks like it's right there in the coral cutter. See his tail?
Oh man.
Actually, you can see the body there too. Poor fishy. All right, I'm gonna start driving backwards and
Yeah, so
200, 220.
it's 200.
200, Reg.
Sorry, 1 sec. Yeah, so it's gonna be like 60 meters back from you. So if I bring the ship 30 meters 200, I might be no, I'll still be downslope, so I'm just gonna do that.
Yeah, you can do 30 or 40 and then
Reg.
nice, Kim. I'm gonna go this way for my tether. Oh, that might have been the anchovy. Nice. Thank you, Kim.
Nice job.
All right. All right, Kim. I'm gonna drive under you here real quick. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was up 2 ledges from here. There was like those 2 discrete ledges.
Roger. And then Kim will be going 220.
200.
200. I don't know why I'm having trouble remembering that
That's all
number.
right. 180.
Because it's 6 o'clock in the morning. That could be why.
It's probably it.
That is like the peak hour for us, though. I'm gonna come up a little there while I drive under you.
Yeah, it looks like we're coming back a little on the east side of that, so it's going to be about 30 meters and a bearing of 240 from you right now.
Roger that.
If DVL is to be trusted. It was right before that ledge, the little ledge,
Raj.
or it'll be right after now.
Before, after, one of those places.
It's all relative.
And there's just so much of this coral right here.
What species did you say this was? It's a gorgonin, but
It's Peristinella.
Peristinella. Yeah, so like 20 meters, 250 right now.
20250, Raj.
Target might be. Let's target wasn't, no, I wasn't super zoomed in when I did it, so may even be a little farther along. I mean, we're right on the area. So we just gotta find that cliff. Oh, ooh.
That could be it.
Yep, I think we
We're
found
there.
it. Nice job.
All right.
That looks good.
Cool. Yeah, digging this thing. We're nicely on top of it too.
Right.
Assuming you don't want lasers on this.
So you
No
we're gonna,
lasers for the mosaic.
yeah.
Roger that.
Are you fine with Argus being right on top?
Yeah, actually that's a lot better for me.
Good.
Gives me a lot of play in my tether.
Yeah. Just, are you tilted down all the way, Kim? I don't know.
No, Kim's looking a little forward still.
Okay.
All right. I'll start kind of midline, go a little up, go a little down, and then change the camera angles. Does that sound good to you there, Tom?
That does. It sounds kind of like we did the other one.
Roger that.
Beautiful.
This is great. It's got a bit of everything. Tunicates, crumpets.
Little squid coming through.
Roger. If it's possible to change your heading to see if we can get a full view of the rock. If not, no worries.
I mean, I can bump us back another just 5-10 meters.
No, it's all good.
Cool.
Usually there's a heading that can get it more centered.
Yeah, it looks good. There we go.
Nice, Kim. Thank you.
I guess the flow comes from the other side because this side's pretty empty.
Yeah. I'm really digging this rock.
Is there space in the bio box for it?
We need to adjust our ballast a little bit.
Might be a little tight.
Just wrap it around the tether.
No, we're not.
I know. It was too far. Wasn't funny.
Too soon. Too soon.
We even get a fish in there. Look at that.
Oh, yeah. It's not even moving. Oh,
Too much. Well, we're looking smooth there for a minute.
Argus view's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, we've done one full rotation.
Now in reverse.
It really is crazy the difference between the two sides.
Yeah.
Yin and yang.
That worked out really well for the tether wraps. Go a little higher. Yeah. Yeah. I'll play with it.
That little yellow one looks like a cannon or something.
Oh, yeah.
It's not doing well keeping intruders away.
No.
But we're matching.
Oh yeah, friends.
All right, in order to mitigate our tether wraps, I'm going to go back the other way, but I'll drive over the top while doing so to save us some time.
It'll be good for overlap. Get the mid and the top.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Mhm. All right. Come back around.
Uh,
Yeah, I'll go next lower, but I'll get the high up on this side since I only got the high up on that side. Then I'll pop down a little lower and we'll go through the bottom. And I think they'll want a camera angle change. This is a very big feature. Very cool.
And it has a little of something of everything on there. There's fine corals, sponges, fish, sea star right there, anemone.
I'm gonna, all right. I'll go a little angle down on this side now.
I think the diversity is really going to help the 3D matching stuff.
Yeah.
Might work out really well. If it was all just
Yeah, it'll
corals,
be
it will get
interesting to see.
confused.
That's a good point, yeah.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
All right, and then we'll do, oops, we'll go low. It's about as low as I can go there.
That looks great.
We'll go around the backside and do the same. I can get this new angle here.
Hey, science. What would you guys say is like the biggest advantages of having a 3D mosaic? I know they're good for just outreach and they look really cool, but as far as like research and documentation, are there big advantages for having a 3D mosaic?
So the one that we did on the Lophelia the other day, if we come back and go to that spot, we could actually have a possibility of measuring the growth of the Lophelia and get like how fast it grows and which direction and area covered, that kind of information. Similarly here, we can see how these sea fans change over time. So that's probably one of the main ideas about it, because you really have this 3D measurement of this rock. And so when you put basically another time, say come back in 3 years to see what has changed and how the community has changed over that time.
Yeah, so it gives you like a better time stamp than just a picture, I guess.
Roger that, because, you know, over looking at all sides of it, like now we see this one side doesn't have corals on it as much. So if we come back and it has corals, and then we could maybe say something about how the currents have changed or something like that.
Sure, yeah. Cool.
That's the idea, plus with outreach. And I'm sure people can get some better measurements, 3D measurements of height and things like that from this.
All right, gonna go back around now, and then I'll get one of the camera angle up, and I think that was pretty much, would be a pretty complete photo mosaic. Is that all right with you there, Tom?
Yeah, I think that'll work. Go back around, take the wraps out, and then shoot one with the camera angle different, and I think we'll call it good.
Roger that.
The structure of emotion stuff is so cool, because it's like, just because there's this open source software that's really effective with, you don't need calibration, you don't need anything, and it just kind of backs out all the things it needs. It's just funny to me that the availability of that open source software opened it up to so many data sets.
Yep. There's just a lot of interesting things you can do. And I think we were talking the other day about, or maybe yesterday, they all blend together about citizen science.
Oh,
And that's something that, you know, if you're a coder out there, you can take open source and do lots of stuff with it.
yeah. Yeah, we had a project for LinkedIn images that were crowdsourced to the public. And we had this one girl from Estonia who became such an expert that this website, Zooniverse, flew her out from Estonia to New York City to meet at a conference.
Oh,
Just
wow.
such a cool opportunity for her. She was
Wow.
on it all the time, yeah. She really knew some plankton ID after that.
Was she like a high school student or?
I think she was a high school teacher. I think, yeah. We kept in touch for a little.
Well, that'd be a nice experience.
Yeah. It's hard, the value of the citizen science ID work, you kind of have to wait and, you know, there's a whole nother science to using the actual data that's classified by the public. But
Yes. Yeah, the biggest group for citizen science that I've been involved with has been the Reef Group, who does scuba dives off of the coast, mainly California and Florida. I think there's a bunch in Hawaii, but I mean, they're all over, but there's certain places that they're concentrated. And just, they have different levels that you can attain, so you can trust certain people's data better than others.
Right.
And it's great because I do, in the summer, I will do juvenile rockfish surveys in the kelp bed using scuba and count them. And I look at what my data is, and then I look at just kind of the general, like, I don't know, overall numbers of what they count,
are you
and
writing
just
them
graph
down?
it together. And it pretty much works out pretty well. I mean, it tracks really well.
I know there's that jelly tracker that I think someone at Mbari made, but then it also gives, you know, where it's not a specific site, it's anywhere that someone can tag and see. It might give an illusion of more jellyfish blooms, but it's just more observation to piecing coverage, but it's not at a specific site. Neat concept.
That's true. I mean,
Yeah.
there's only one of me and lots of other people, so.
Yeah.
I know Pacific Islands Fisheries Science Center is using one called Ocean Eyes
Ooh,
to take a look at some of their baited camera data.
super cool.
Yeah, a few years ago we had, I wouldn't say it was just like citizen science, but we kind of got involved with this group called the Bay Area Underwater Explorers, and they do tech dives, deep dives. And when they would go dive, they would actually look at and send us pictures of corals and sponges and fishes from 100 meters or so
Wow.
around the Monterey Bay. And they actually kept track of, like there's a tiger rockfish, which is a fish from really up north, but they found one in Monterey, in the bay. And they kept re-seeing it and taking pictures of it.
Wow.
And so without us having to go there, we knew that this tiger lived in the same hole, in the same area, because they'd go back and want to see it.
That's super cool.
But it's not my kind of diving. When you
Need to
you
rebate
basically
there.
spend, yeah, well, no, they're actually doing it on 5 tanks.
Oh my God.
So they spend 12 to 15 minutes on the bottom, and then it's a 2-hour deco in the water column.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's it's a real trade-off.
Yeah. So they have a lot of pictures of mid-water stuff while they're just sitting on the line at 50 feet or whatever they're at.
Hopefully not caught in a jellyfish field. Can't
They
move.
had those.
Yeah. I've had that happen to me on
Yeah.
a decompression stop. You're like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, we were up sampling some fish up north, and I lost my buddy, but I knew he was right around the same pinnacle. I think he was just on the other side, and I'm looking, and I wasn't really paying attention, and I said, oh, I should probably just go up and see where he is. And when I looked up, it was just covered in jellies, and I'm like, bummer.
Oh,
It just, luckily, you just use your regulator and kind of punch a hole through it with the bubbles, and then you can
Oh, that's
ascend
smart.
through them.
I just let them wash over me.
Out here, especially where you're diving in like thick wetsuits and things, they don't
Yeah.
really affect you except in your face. So if you keep blowing out bubbles, they stay away from your face, hopefully. So when you get stung on the upper lip, you know it.
That sounds pleasant.
Yeah, I had that happen to me last time I was diving in the Keys, doing some coral reef conservation work. I literally jumped in the water, and 2 minutes later, my mouth was all stung and super swollen. It was rough way to start.
How it would be. And that's one of those stupid things when you don't think about it when you're diving. It's like I was diving in a jellyfish swarm, and then I was taking my wetsuit off, and I had an itch on my face. So I itched my face with my gloves still on, and basically transferred all the nematocysts to my face.
oh gosh. All right, so that's pretty much many camera angles, couple,
Very good.
probably like 4 or 5 rotations.
That was great.
Cool.
Nice job, Jazz. That was beautiful.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous feature.
Hagfish likes it.
Hagfish is going home.
So
He's like,
science.
can you guys leave finally? Yeah, let's head back to where we
Yeah, just
ended the transect.
okay, good. Yeah, it looks like a good compromise between going down the steep slope, but at somewhat of an angle for us.
Sure, so what's going to be our target bearing?
Yeah, we'll go back to 020.
020, Reg.
Yeah. Well, actually, at this angle, Argus will be a little closer to the bottom, but
So before we go,
Yep.
if we can go to the right of the big white sponge, Jess, if you could move back to the right,
Sure.
there's a sculpin in the hole.
Sculpt it in the hole.
So between the
Let's stand back.
paragorgid, the tall thing.
Yeah,
Like
your
almost-
cat eyes, yeah.
Oh, I saw him actually when you were going around is when I saw him.
Roger that.
And if we get the lasers on,
Marley, on a snap zoom in there, please. Oh, that's great.
Nice.
he made it into the mosaic.
You said sculpin's your favorite, right?
Yep,
Oh,
that's a little isolinus sculpin.
Tiny guy.
Yes, he is. That's good. Thanks for.
sure. If you guys want a cool picture real quick, line you up here.
Keep the sculpin in.
I need to get on this heading anyway, so that works out pretty nicely.
And look at the mud wall on the backside.
Oh
You
yeah.
can see the way the current goes, and it stacks the mud up.
On the other side.
Yep.
All right, Marley, you want to do a partial zoom there, please? Great. That's great.
Oh, another one.
Maybe a little further in.
Oh yeah, there's another one.
That's great. Let me just look over this real quick, and then we can.
And we were talking about getting stung by jellyfish, and Meredith put in the chat that up north where she is, when you get stung, it's cold enough that you don't notice it for a minute.
Too numb.
That's probably the realism. You don't feel it till you thaw out.
I grew up on the East Coast, Chesapeake Bay, and we used to water ski wearing
Full load, Marley.
sweatpants because of the jellyfish.
Smart.
And it made you a better skier because you did not want to wipe out.
Sweatpants will go flying.
Roger. Before you do, Kim, would you mind coming to 020?
I haven't called in the ship. I can call it in if you're
Yep.
ready.
Go on ahead.
We didn't want to wipe out because you'd land in jellyfish.
That wouldn't be fun.
Okay, great, thanks.
I guess I should have verified. You guys didn't want any samples there. We're all good to keep going, right?
Yeah, we're all good to move on.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'm really looking forward to that photo mosaic.
Yeah, me too.
Should be a good one.
I think Jake has call map installed if we want to try it out.
Oh,
Whenever.
thank you. Thank you, Marley.
So the beans come out already?
Maybe.
PB time.
I was wondering if they could tell by that.
I'm just thinking it's after 6, so.
Yeah. Once it becomes part of the routine, it becomes more essential to the routine.
Yep.
No, it's
There's that clubbed sponge again, the stocky one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, doesn't look very structurally.
Marley, you want to snap zoom?
Whoa.
That's cool. A little cup coral too in the background.
Cool.
All right,
We
good
need a
from
new
right
food
there,
name for it.
Marley. Drumstick? Grapevine. I like how a grapevine. Would that work?
They all work. Just depends on whatever sticks. Maybe that's something we should do, is we should just take a coral or a sponge that doesn't have a name and have all the people vote on it and send in names.
Runs the risk
Leave the
of
comment.
Bodie McBoatface all over again, though.
Yes, but that would be cool. I would have stuck with that name, so I don't
I
know.
was gonna say it was a good name.
Steve Oskovich would not agree with you.
He doesn't like it.
He was very serious about naming things the other night when we had this conversation.
Well, that's why we're on the fun watch now.
The Bodie McBoatface watch. Have you gotten to name anything, Tom?
Officially, no. Basically, it's really who gets to name it are the taxonomists. So we find it and hand it off to them, and then they name it.
True.
In Milton and Mary, when they found the Christmas tree coral, Dennis Opresco was the one who figured that out, and so, or did the taxonomy. So he actually asked them what name they'd like. So they were able to name it.